and I'll take you to the United Arab Emirates because that's where Prime Minister Modi is today. This is the 7th visit of Prime Minister Modi to the UAE ever since he was elected to the government in 2014. He is scheduled to hold a bilateral meeting with UAE President Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. He's also going to meet the Prime Minister, Vice President, Defence Minister of UAE. This also is reflective of not just political equations but the friendship and the bonhomie that we have seen between the two leaders. Prime Minister later will attend the Ahlan Modi event in Abu Dhabi, will address the Indian diaspora, but the focus will be, look closely on your screens, February 14th, when Prime Minister Modi will inaugurate the Babs Mandir, as it is known, in Abu Dhabi. This is the first Hindu temple in Abu Dhabi and the largest Hindu temple in the Middle East. The Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi and the Deputy Supreme Commander of UAE Armed Forces, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, donated this 13.5 acres of land in 2015 to construct this mandir, and again reflective of the friendship that Modi and Al Nahyan share at this point. Prime Minister Modi also becomes the first Indian Prime Minister after Indira Gandhi to visit UAE in 2015 after over 3 decades. Ever since, there have been 6 visits already. And then in 2019, remember, he was even awarded with UAE's highest award, Order of Zayed. And Al Nahyan also recently, remember, had visited the Gujarat summit where he also gave a rare honor of delivering an address.
This will be the 5th meeting of the two leaders in the last 8 months. It gives you a sense of intensity of high-level political exchanges between India and the UAE. Following the ceremonial welcome and reception at the Presidential Palace, the two leaders will sit down for bilateral meeting, whereafter there would be exchange of agreements and understandings after the discussions between the two leaders.
There are quite a few MOUs will be signed, but the final lists have not been finalized because I think up to the very specific minute when they will exchange those MOUs, we will have the final list because we're trying to do as many of them as possible. What I can tell you is probably they will be following up on what was discussed in the previous meeting, and that meeting also was a follow-up on what was discussed in the meeting before. And the last meeting, for example, they discussed new sectors where the UAE and India could cooperate. Aerospace, for instance, AI, education, what more can we do, so on and so forth. And I know for a fact that we will come out of this visit also with a longer list of to-do lists and of things that need to be progressed further in this relationship.
पूरे विश्व से लोगों को एक बहुत बड़ी इंतज़ारी थी इस महोत्सव की। अमेरिका, कनाडा, ऑस्ट्रेलिया, न्यूजीलैंड, इंग्लैंड, यूरोपियन कंट्रीज़ लाइक फ्रांस एंड अफ्रीका के देशों से, अरब देशों से, गल्फ कंट्रीज़ से बहुत सारे हरिभक्त, और स्वाभाविकता से भारत से तो है ही, तो बहुत उत्साह से विश्व के कोने-कोने से यहाँ हरि भक्त पधारे हुए हैं।
We have placed 300 sensors at almost every level of the temple. This is the first traditional stone temple that has scientific sensors, load sensors that measure pressure, temperature, movement. If there's an earthquake anywhere in this region, the temple will detect it, and we will be able to study the mechanics of the whole monument. So the temple is not just a place of worship, it's a place of values.
So, of course, to ensure that you get a sneak preview of what the situation is looking like in Abu Dhabi, we are on the ground, and from India today, Akshita Nandagopal is in Abu Dhabi joining us. Akshita, how is it like from moving from the studio to Abu Dhabi right now? What's the temple looking like? You've sent us a ground report. And what sort of arrangements are in place, the itinerary of Prime Minister Modi?
Good morning, Pooja. Lovely to be out of Delhi, honestly, away from the winters. It's beautiful weather here in Abu Dhabi. The Prime Minister will be touching down in what he's referred to constantly as his second home here in the United Arab Emirates. You were right to point out that this is his 7th visit. Can I just show you that behind me right now, that's where the Prime Minister will in fact be staying. So this is the St. Regis, This is where Prime Minister Modi will be coming in just a few hours from now. And from this particular point, there's going to be a bilateral meeting that takes place with, in fact, his brother, MBZ, with Mohammed bin Zayed. There's going to be a lot of discussions, of course, on taking forward the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement of 2022, or whether it's the other breakthrough of the India, Middle East, Europe economic corridor. So those are issues that will come up. But besides that, also two big headline-grabbing events that will happen, Pooja. One is, of course, the fact that this evening you're going to be having the Prime Minister at this massive Indian diaspora event, where thousands of people are expected to gather. The weather's played a bit of spoilsport. It's been extremely rainy. It's been full of thunderstorms here in Abu Dhabi. So what was supposed to be an event with 50,000 plus people has been slightly scaled down, but it's still going to be an unprecedented event. That is, in fact, the Ahlan Modi event that will be happening this evening. And then tomorrow, the Prime Minister will be there at the BAPS Hindu Mandir, which is from where I am, the city center, just about 30 minutes out. And there it is, in fact, where the Prime Minister will go ahead and inaugurate that temple. I was there yesterday, and I can tell you, it's an absolutely beautiful piece of art, absolutely marvelous to look at. So the Prime Minister knows.
Reported from the Ram Temple as well in Ayodhya, and now to the BAPS Mandir in Abu Dhabi. Can we say that this temple, as much is, you know, the grandeur, the kind of the architecture that has been used here, again is of another level?
Very true, Pooja. I know there are a lot of comparisons to the Ram Mandir also because of the timing, because it's just weeks apart that you've had the Pran Pratishtha and now this event. There is a lot of similarity in the architecture because both are in the Nagara style, both have sandstone, both are completely marble, no iron or steel used to ensure that it withstands the test of time and, you know, it stands for generations to come. So there are those comparisons. There's also going to be, in fact, an idol of Lord Ram in this temple here in the BAPS Hindu Mandir. But having said that, I think the significance of what we're seeing today at the BAPS Hindu Mandir is very different from the Ram Mandir, in the sense that in Ayodhya, of course, it was something that we've been seeing building up for generations together. Here, if you talk to the people here, you know, they're saying that this is a clear standing testament to how India-UAE ties has undergone a makeover. You pointed out from 2015 when Prime Minister Modi touched on here for the first time, the first Prime Minister in 34 years to have come down. From then to today, what really signifies and symbolizes the huge progress in India-UAE ties is perhaps that temple. And I think nothing perhaps describes it better than how the volunteers there say that it was a Muslim king who donated land for this Hindu temple.
That's so true. That's clearly noticeable. Then that also means, Akshita, it's not just India, UAE. It is also about these two leaders, Prime Minister Modi and Mohammed bin Zayed, that the two individuals together, so different in so many ways, yet constantly visiting each other's country, and that bonhomie is for all to see.
Very true. And what it's done essentially, Pooja, is it's transcended. It's translated into great ties between the two countries as well. You know, Prime Minister Modi is repeatedly referred to ABZ as his brother. He said that this is his second home, as I pointed out. You had also, in fact, you know, the president of UAE coming down and being a part of the event in Gujarat when he was there for the Vibrant Gujarat Summit, which was unprecedented because he took part in a roadshow. He spoke at the event, which is a rare honor because he doesn't do that very often. The Order of Zayed has been bestowed on Prime Minister Modi. And all of that has translated to what we're seeing today, whether it's in developments that you've seen in Qatar or here in UAE. The fact that India-UAE ties are better, the fact that India-Qatar ties are better, it shows that the Modi government has largely, Pooja, focused on, in fact, bettering relations with the Middle East, knowing full well that diplomatically it plays a huge role. We've seen that indication of what happened with the release of the 8 Indian Navy veterans as well. So, you know, as far as India-UAE ties are concerned, more highs expected in the next 48 hours.
That's right. It's not just India-UAE, it's India-Middle East, India-West Asia, these relationship for all to see. But an interesting moment there, and Akshita Nandgopal will be updating us constantly with the special telecast on the ground from Abu Dhabi. Enjoy your stay there, Akshita. We'll come to you in just a short while. So the Mandir inauguration in Abu Dhabi, but there are, of course, other Ahlan Modi event and other itinerary also that is a packed schedule on the 2-day visit for Prime Minister Narendra Modi.